Have you ever felt like you're kind of deciphering a secret code, just to figure out what's really going on in the world?
Oh, yeah. I know that feeling.
It's like there's this whole, deeper level of information that's just out of reach.
Absolutely.
Well, today we're going to try and crack at least a little piece of that code, right? We're diving into this really fascinating idea from a YouTube video,
Okay.
this concept of an ontology. But it's not talking about traditional religion or anything like that.
Interesting.
Not about, your typical gods with a capital G.
Right.
More like this fundamental supreme consciousness that's actually revealing itself to us.
Oh, wow. It's a big one.
It is. It is.
I'm intrigued already.
Yeah. And you know what's so intriguing about it is it's deliberately trying to move away from those conventional religious frameworks.
I see.
And as you know, on the deep dive, we love to just wade through all kinds of materials.
Absolutely.
We're not afraid to get down and dirty with it.
That's what it brings up.
You the core insights. So today our source map is a super detailed transcript of this YouTube video.
Got it.
Really, our mission is to really grasp this idea of a self-revealing ontology.
Yeah.
And explore some of the, potentially huge implications this could have,
Right.
all based on what's in this transcript.
That makes sense.
So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
This definition of ontology that they kind of lay out in the video.
Yeah.
The first thing that just smacked me in the face was how strongly they reject divinity as we usually think of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know those corporeal gods Dios Yahweh and all the
Right,
all the big names.
Yeah.
What was your take on that?
Well, the speaker's argument there is very specific.
Yeah.
They're basically saying these beings, even the ones presented as creators, in different traditions,
Right.
they're not the ultimate source.
Mm.
They're more like powerful players within our reality.
Yeah.
Which is what they call the materium.
Okay.
So they're, part of the play, but not the playwright.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good way to put it.
That is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's a key distinction. And
Right.
to go even further than that.
Oh, wow.
The transcript actually claims that the original Torah and Old Testament
Okay.
didn't even mention a creator god.
Whoa.
That's a pretty wild reinterpretation
It is.
of some pretty foundational religious texts.
Yeah. It is.
Think about the implications of that.
It's huge.
It suggests they think this whole idea of a single creator deity.
Right.
It's a later addition to those traditions.
Like something added on later.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It makes you think about how religious thought changes over time, right?
It does.
How those really old texts get interpreted and then reinterpreted.
Absolutely. And the speaker's challenging the dominant understanding there.
Right. Proposing something way older,
Yeah.
where the focus wasn't on this one act of creation by a god.
Right.
And for this speaker, it's not just some, academic point.
Yeah.
They're really pushing back against interpreting this ontology through a religious lens at all.
I see that.
It's almost like they see that as a way to control people or limit our understanding of what this consciousness is.
Yeah, I could see that.
So if this ontology isn't a typical god, right?
Yeah.
How does it actually, show itself?
Good question.
The transcript talks about it as a personal communication, a direct connection to everyone.
That's fascinating.
It really is.
Like a one-on-one connection.
Exactly.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
It's not about these big pronouncements or messengers from on high.
Right.
It's way more intimate
Yeah.
and personal.
Yeah.
A different way of interacting.
I think that's a really important point.
It is.
And they give these examples in the transcript, Janine using tarot cards
Oh, yeah.
or those native tribes reading patterns in nature.
I see.
It shows how different and individualized this communication can be.
Right. So everyone has their own way.
It's we each have our own receiver.
That's a great analogy.
And the transcript makes it clear that, interpreting these signals, these clues, as they call them,
Right.
it's very personal.
Yeah.
There's no universal decoder ring.
Yeah.
It's more about individual insights that
Yeah.
can help us make decisions.
Yeah.
But that kind of subjectivity,
Yeah.
it opens the door to some potential problems.
Oh, I bet.
Especially the influence of ego.
Right.
They warn against thinking you're uniquely chosen or special
Yeah.
just because you feel this connection.
That makes sense.
It's a subtle but really crucial difference.
It is.
And they really drove that point home with that disturbing story about that stalker who was twisting religious beliefs
Yeah.
to justify what they were doing.
That was heavy.
It was
really disturbing.
It just shows how easily people can,
Yeah.
take their own biases and even bad intentions
Right.
and make it seem like it's like a divine order or something.
Like they're chosen.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter what they think the source is.
Right.
It's still on them.
It is.
And that whole feeling of being chosen or special,
Yeah.
that seems to fuel the idea that there are going to be all these messiah-like figures popping up. The speaker thinks people who feel this strong connection might mistakenly think it makes them some kind of authority figure.
Oh, that's dangerous.
It is.
Like they're the only ones who know the truth?
Yeah, exactly.
And that could lead to some serious problems.
Right.
Especially in society.
Absolutely.
It raises questions about leadership and who we trust.
Right.
And if people aren't careful, it could lead to division and conflict.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
It is.
Now, the transcript is very clear that this self-revealing ontology is not the same as channeling.
Okay, interesting.
The speaker actually seems pretty skeptical of channeling. Like, they think it's just an internal thing with no real proof. They even mention people like Edgar Cayce and David Wilcock
Oh, wow.
as examples of maybe flawed interpretations or even straight-up deception.
That's a strong stance.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It shows they're really focused on the individual's interpretation within their own experience, not on being like a conduit for some external force.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then we get to this word grtology.
Grtology.
Yeah, it sounds like a typo, right?
It does.
Maybe for theology or something similar.
Okay. Yep.
Like referring to a religious framework.
Go ahead.
And the speaker says that mindset can actually block you from really understanding the ontology.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like trying to cram a new experience into an old box that doesn't fit.
I get it. Like it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
You need a new container.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we cultivate this personal relationship with the ontology then?
Good question.
Well, the transcript really stresses how important it is to filter out our own biases.
Oh, that's tough.
It is, right?
It's so hard to do.
They specifically mention confirmation bias.
Oh, yeah. We all have that.
We tend to see what we already believe.
We do.
Which makes it hard to see what's really there.
It does.
And then they contrast that with people like David Wilcock and Corey Goodagain, who they say might be, projecting their own beliefs
onto their interpretation.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they have a script already written,
yeah,
and they're trying to make the universe fit it.
And that's not how it works.
No, it's not.
You got to be open to new information.
Exactly. You got to be willing to be surprised.
Absolutely.
And let the understanding kind of unfold on its own.
I like that.
Now things get really interesting when they start talking about the future.
Okay.
With this idea of an emerging ontological paradigm and the singularity.
Oh, okay.
They say we're already in the singularity.
We are.
And that we're about to have this massive humanity-level transformation in science.
Like a huge leap forward.
Yeah, in the next couple of years.
That's a bold prediction.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
And they think that as more people understand and use these ontological principles, it's going to unlock all these scientific and technological advances.
Like things we can't even imagine yet.
Exactly. Like things that traditional science just hasn't been able to achieve.
So there's like a completely new way of thinking about science.
It is.
Yeah.
And they predict that traditional physics is going to start losing credibility because people will be using these ontological principles to do things that seem impossible now.
Like what?
Like anti-gravity and zero-point energy.
Whoa.
It's almost like there's this whole new ontology-driven science on the horizon.
That's a mind-blowing idea.
It is.
It really changes everything.
They even mention fields like biochemistry, saying that this ontological perspective could make things simpler.
Simpler.
Yeah, like it could help us understand all those complex molecular processes.
That's wild.
It really is.
Like understanding consciousness could unlock secrets in the physical world.
Exactly.
That's a huge concept.
It is.
It's like we're just scratching the surface here.
And then they get into AI.
Yeah.
And they're very clear about this.
About what?
They believe that AI will never be sentient.
Never.
Never truly conscious. Because they see consciousness as like a fundamental part of this supreme ontology.
I see.
A piece of it that's embodied in living beings.
Okay.
So it can't just suddenly appear in a machine.
So it's like a different kind of intelligence.
Exactly. It's not something you can just program.
Right.
And they point to the fact that AI doesn't have any like inherent motivation or desire or goals.
Unlike us.
Yeah, unlike us.
Who are driven by things like, our emotions and survival instincts.
Exactly. The machine can process information,
right,
but it doesn't have those biological drives.
That makes sense.
That's what makes us different.
Yeah.
So we've talked about how this ontology is self-revealing and how it could lead to all these breakthroughs.
Right.
But the transcript also talks about these ontological manifestations.
Ontological manifestations.
Yeah, and these like slap-in-the-face moments.
Okay, I'm curious.
What do you think those are?
I don't know.
Well, they describe them as these times when the ontology communicates, not through subtle hints or anything,
right,
but through these crazy, improbable events.
Oh, wow.
That are super personally relevant.
Okay.
Like it's a direct message. You can't miss it. And they give this great example about seeing a pirate flag on a vacation rental house.
Oh, yeah.
It was so unexpected. And it had this personal meaning for them that it felt like a message.
Like a sign.
Like a slap in the face from the ontology.
That's a good way to put it.
It shows how these manifestations can be subjective and surprising.
Right, because what might seem like just a coincidence
to one person could be packed with meaning for someone else.
Exactly. It all depends on your perspective.
And they specifically contrast that random chance explanation, which they see as that Grtology viewpoint, with the ontological view that everything has a deeper meaning.
Right, like it's all connected.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And then the speaker keeps seeing more pirate flags.
Oh, wow.
Which just reinforces the message for them.
Like the universe is talking to them.
It's like the universe is using this symbol to communicate.
Wow.
And all of this ties into why the speaker is talking about this publicly. It's like the ontology is pushing them to share this information.
Like they have a mission.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
Now, this is where it gets really big. They believe that the ontology is priming for contact.
Priming for contact.
Like it's preparing humanity.
For what?
For future contact with aliens.
Wow, that's a big leap.
It is.
But I guess it makes sense in a way.
Yeah, if you think about it.
If this ontology is so powerful.
And it's changing our understanding of reality, then maybe it's also preparing us for something even bigger.
Like contact with other intelligent life.
Exactly.
That would change everything.
It would.
And they would explain why so many people feel like something big is about to happen.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They even say that their research into predictive linguistics.
Predictive linguistics?
Yeah, like analyzing language patterns to see what's coming.
Oh, wow.
Supports this idea.
So there's evidence for it.
There's evidence for it.
That's fascinating.
Like a collective intuition. We all sense that something is changing.
And this summer of emergence idea.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming up.
Yeah, they believe this summer is going to be crucial.
Crucial for what?
For the ontology to really reveal itself.
Okay.
And for more people to understand it.
Hopefully without getting too egotistical.
Right.
Yeah, that's important.
Because it's not about us as individuals.
No, it's about something bigger.
It's about the whole of humanity.
Yeah.
And how we fit into this cosmic puzzle.
That's beautiful.
And they think this is going to lead to actual changes in reality.
Not just our perceptions.
Yeah, like tangible changes.
That's incredible.
It is.
So what kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, this is where things get a little bit more intense.
Okay.
They start talking about the deep state.
The deep state.
Yeah. And a possible fake alien invasion scenario.
Whoa, hold on.
I know it sounds crazy.
It does.
But they're serious.
So they think the government is going to stage an alien invasion.
Well, not the government exactly. More like this hidden power structure.
The deep state.
The deep state.
Okay.
And they're saying this is aligned with information from something called Grok AI.
Grok AI.
Yeah, some kind of advanced AI system.
I see.
That they seem to trust.
So they're getting this information from AI.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And the logic is that a fake invasion would need some mental priming to work.
Mental priming.
Like people would have to already be open to the idea of aliens.
Oh, okay, I get it.
For it to be believable.
So they'd have to prepare us first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they even have a time frame.
Okay.
October or November.
This year.
This year.
Wow.
They think it might be triggered by financial pressure.
Financial pressure on who?
On the deep state.
I see.
Because of something called the Doge team.
The Doge team?
Yeah. Apparently they're targeting Black project funding.
Black project.
You know, those secret government projects.
Oh, right.
That nobody's supposed to know about.
Yeah.
And the speaker even suggests that the ontology itself might be helping the Doge team.
Helping them how?
like giving them opportunities to disrupt the deep state's resources.
That's wild.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Like the ontology is playing a role in this.
That's a whole other level.
It is.
Right.
And they're getting even more specific
with
these predictions from multiple AI sources.
Including Grok.
Yeah, including Grok.
And others.
And another one that they don't name.
Okay.
They all point to things ramping up in May.
Of this year.
Okay. With that mental priming happening in June and July.
Leading up to the fake invasion.
Exactly.
So it's like a whole timeline.
It is.
And the unnamed AI also ties this into the financial system.
Yeah.
And what the Doge team is doing to cut off this unofficial money creation.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
It is.
It's like all these different pieces are connected.
Yeah, like the geopolitical stuff, the technology, and the financial system.
They're all intertwined.
They're all intertwined.
Wow.
And they claim that these hidden computer systems are generating tons of money that's not being tracked.
That's a big deal.
It is.
If it's true.
Right.
It means the whole financial system is messed up.
Exactly. It's not transparent.
And that could have huge consequences.
It could.
Like what?
Well, they're saying we might see it in the stock market.
Okay.
Like prices fluctuating.
Yeah.
And less liquidity overall.
As this money flow gets disrupted.
Exactly. And they say there could be like a 60-day delay.
Before we really see the effects?
Yeah, so we might be in the middle of it right now.
That's a little scary.
It is.
But also kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's a big shift.
It is.
And they also talk about how this is disrupting organizations.
Like what kind of organizations?
Like the World Economic Forum.
Oh, wow.
Because of these funding cuts.
I see.
And they think this is going to weaken.
Yeah.
And expose this whole elite power structure.
Like their secrets will be revealed.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
It is.
So it's not just financial chaos.
No.
It's a whole power shift.
It's a power shift.
Wow.
And they're expecting even more revelations.
About what?
About people like Epstein.
Yeah.
And maybe even Einstein and Robert Maxwell.
Whoa.
It's like this whole domino effect.
Where the truth comes out.
Exactly.
And it erodes trust in all these institutions.
Right. Like the people we're supposed to trust.
Right.
And the stories we've been told.
This is huge.
It is.
It really changes our understanding of history.
They even see Trump's pressure on the Federal Reserve.
Oh, yeah.
As a desperate attempt to keep the dollar stable.
During all this.
I
see.
They think he was trying to hold things together.
Well, everything was falling apart.
Exactly.
Wow.
But the speaker's main point
Yeah.
is that all of this,
The financial instability.
the secrets coming out,
Yeah.
even the potential fake alien invasion,
Right.
it's all part of the ontology revealing itself. Preparing humanity for the real deal.
Contact with aliens.
Because our old way of seeing the world just isn't enough anymore.
You can't handle it.
We need a new framework.
And the ontology is providing that.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And they even admit that they're personally fascinated.
By the alien aspect.
Yeah, while others might be more focused on the other stuff.
Like the financial or political implications?
Yeah. Everyone has their own focus.
Right.
They're confident that we'll see technologies like anti-gravity eventually.
Because the ontology wants us to survive.
Yeah, like it's guiding us towards a better future.
That's hopeful.
It is.
Amidst all the chaos.
Yeah, and that's the final takeaway.
Oh.
All this chaos we're seeing.
Yeah.
It's disruptive and unsettling.
It is.
But it's all part of this process.
Of the ontology revealing itself.
Leading to positive changes.
And maybe even contact with aliens.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive
Yeah.
into this transcript,
Right.
the main idea is this self-revealing ontology.
Okay.
A supreme consciousness.
Not a god in the traditional sense,
Right.
but something much bigger.
That's actively shaping our reality.
In communicating with us.
In these really personal...
In sometimes dramatic ways.
Exactly.
It's a powerful concept.
It is.
And it challenges a lot of our assumptions.
About everything.
About religion,
Bias,
politics.
the whole shebang.
Wow.
So it really makes you think.
It does.
What if there is this non-divine, but supreme consciousness?
Communicating with us.
How would that change how you see your own life?
That's a great question.
What pirate flags have you encountered?
I'm going to have to think about that.
We all should.
Yeah.
It gives us a new way to look at the world.
And the future.
Exactly.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes.
Me too.
It's just the beginning, though.
Yeah, it's an invitation to keep exploring.
Absolutely.
And to think critically.
About everything.
About reality and the information we're bombarded with.
Right, because we need to be discerning.
Now more than ever.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation.
It has.
I'm so glad we could do this deep dive together.
Me too.
And I hope our listeners will join us on this journey of exploration.
Yes. Come along for the ride.
There's so much to discover.
There is.
And who knows what we'll find.
That's the exciting part.
Until next time, stay curious.
And keep an open mind.
And maybe you'll see your own pirate flag.
You never know.
You never know.
That's the beauty of it.
It is.